that this is more of round and then this is not round. So that is the difference. But with the Hemovac drain, it also has a tube that is connected to a bag. And most of the time, the Hemovac drain is used after craniotomy. Craniotomy, where we perform surgeries on the brain, right? So in these cases, a Hemovac drain can be inserted. So I've mentioned that the main aim of inserting drainage tubes is to remove foreign bodies like fluid, like blood, like air that will prevent wound infection. Right, so as a nurse, our responsibility is to manage this patient whilst the patient is on the tube. We are not responsible for passing the tube. That is done in the theater. Right? But if the patient comes with the tube, we have to make sure the tube is well managed so that the wound does not become infected, which is our main aim after surgery, that we make sure the wound does not get infected. So the first thing as a nurse that you do is the site where the tube has been inserted. The patient can bleed from there, and there can also be leakages of fluid from there, right? So your duty is to make sure there are no leakages from the site where the tube was inserted, right? So you have to assess the dressing. I mentioned earlier that a dressing will be used at the site of the incision. So most of the time, if you are putting a dressing at the site of any drainage tube, you have to take your normal 4x4 gauze and then you make an incision with your scissors, right? And then you just take it out so that you can cover the tube with the sterile gauze. Yes. So as a nurse, you should assess the site where the tube is inserted, right? So that you can notice early bleeding or leakages. And then if you notice anything like that, you can change the dressing, reinforce, and still if the patient is bleeding, then you have to report to the surgeon so that possibly the patient will be taken back to the theater so that it will be resutured. And then apart from that, there is a possibility that there can be infection at the site of where the drainage tube was inserted, right? So you have to also monitor the site, especially as nurses. Most of the time after surgery, we don't open the wound till the second to the third day, right? So after the second to the third day, when the wound is open, the dressing at the drainage incision, the tube site, is also open. So as a nurse, you should assess for the dressing site for signs of infections, right, which you know already. So you assess for redness, you assess for any discharges, you assess for any change in color, right? So normally, if a wound is healing, then it's expected that the color will be pink, right? So if you get any other color or discharges apart from the pink color, then it's an indication that probably the wound is becoming infected. So you have to report to your in charge or the physician, right? And then you have to also, because it's a tube, you have to make sure that the tube is well secured, right? So it's a suture or a stitch that has been used to hold the tube to the skin. So there's a possibility that the stitch can remove. So always make sure that it's well secured or it's not pulling out. And then ensure that the patient is not lying on the tube, because it's possible that patient can lie on the tube, because at times it's even possible that somebody wake up in the morning and you slept on your arm, right? Yes, so it's possible that patient can lie on the tube. So make sure the patient is not lying on the tube. And the tube can also be pink, right? Just like an infusion, when you are giving an infusion and then the giving sex, sometimes it becomes blocked, right? Or sometimes there is air in it that prevents the continuous flow of the infusion. So likewise, the tube can be blocked. So always assess for the continuous drainage, right, into the bag, right, and then ensure that it's not kinked, right. If it's kinked, it means that the drainage will cease or it can't continue to flow in the bag. So you have to report. And then apart from that, the drainage bag, just like we are caring for somebody on catheter, should never be placed on the patient bed, right? So the drainage bag should always be placed below the patient, right? So that the drainage will flow by gravity, right? And then it will also prevent backflow of the drainage, right? That will promote infection. So it's always placed below the patient, but it should not be placed on the floor to prevent infection. So if possible, and then it has something that you can hang to the bed, it's best you hang the bag to the bed. And then at every shift, nurses, most of the time we run shifts. So at every shift, so that will be like every 6 to 8 hours, you have to monitor the amount of the drainage in the bag, right? So note the amount, note the color, the consistency of the drainage, right? So that you can be comparing to know whether the condition is getting better. Because most of the time it's expected that as time goes on, the drainage decreases, right, as time goes on, so that after 3 days or 2 days, if there are no drainage, the tube can be removed, right, because the tube is there for a purpose. So if that purpose is no more, it means that the tube has to be removed. And then apart from that, we should document the drainage on the intake and output chart. So you see that this patient should be monitored on the intake and output chart, which I know you know already, right? So because it's an output, you document